did you propose to me? I feel like you weren't even trying to get married.
You don't think I was trying to get married?
I did not expect this right now. We were just picking our songs for walking into the fucking reception. Are you kidding me?
Hey guys, welcome to the Geet Up. Today we're talking episode 12, the finale of Love is Blind. It's wedding day.
That's right, or is it?
Yeah, or is it? And of course we have Ashley with us in Alaska.
Down there from Alaska.
Yep.
So far away.
So we're starting off with Jimmy and Chelsea picking up where we left off at the amusement
On that
park.
awesome date, they had an awesome date, the music park themselves. They got these beautiful freaking damn burgers sitting in front of them they ain't eating.
Not one bite
Yeah, not
from
even a
those
damn
burgers,
bite,
and they
dude.
got
What the
two
hell?
each.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Jimmy should have took all four of them
Oh,
and
yeah,
just...
yeah, especially the way that clown's been eating the whole fucking season. No kidding, man. Why am I eating these burgers?
Yeah, but this starts off, Jimmy is putting on her and says...
Are we going to get married? Because I haven't even got a grasp of where you're at.
What do you think? Can you go through with this?
Well, first he tells her how awesome he thinks she is, and he can see himself with her and all this good stuff. And he's like, now what about you? What do you think?
Yeah. And she's waffling, right? And it depends on the day how she's feeling. She's like,
Yeah.
yesterday I wasn't feeling too good. Today I'm back, and I think you're going to make a great dad, so let's rock this thing.
Yeah, and he's like, you know what? You're my person. I love you. I think everything's great, but I'm not going to the altar.
And I want a relationship with you, and I want us to work so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to go to the altar.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a bombshell for
Oh,
her.
yeah, he gave her the all warm and fuzzy, like everything's going to be good to go. And he's like, yeah, but I'm just not going to go.
She didn't even know how to respond to that. I
No.
mean, Ashley, whose side are you on here?
Yeah, well, I'm going to side with Jimmy on this one. I just don't like his delivery. I don't like how he set it up. Like, hey, I love you. You're my person. I'm really happy with this situation we have going on here, but I don't really know where you are. And then as soon as she says, yeah, I'm on board, he's like, yeah, I'm not on board. It's like it was a complete setup.
So he's like, you do everything. Every single day, you do exactly what I would want a wife to do. I can sense that to her. And he's like, but I ain't going to show up at the altar.
Yeah, and what I also find funny is like when he says that, and it's like, what's the deal now? Like, his first reason that he goes to was,
Oh, yeah.
well, it happened 3 times where you said Johnny and Amy have a stronger relationship. I'm like, what does that like? That's one of your huge
Right,
hangups.
right,
That's
exactly.
the first thing you mentioned to her why you can't marry her because this conversation.
And she's like, I just said it twice.
You've said it like literally 3 times since then about Amy and
I
Johnny
said
being
it
the strongest
twice, and I
couple.
said it because we were working through some things, and I thought that we have.
And she's like, we had one little tiff, and he's like, well, it's been a little bit more than one.
Okay, I've got like 5 major reasons why this isn't going to work.
And it goes back to that one night about the friend. And I think that's the main issue. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know why he said the Johnny Amy thing, but
Right,
it
exactly.
goes back to this night. And I think it also goes back to her not being cool with him going out.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Well, and the fact that he's like, look, I told you that shit in confidence. I didn't want it on TV. You told me it wouldn't be on camera, and then you threw it in my freaking face several times on camera.
But you're bringing
He's
your
like,
friends on camera at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah, and that's the thing too, right? Like, why in the hell, if that was going to be an issue and he was going to have to tell her, hey, yeah, I slept with her, why even bring her on the show with you? He should have never brought that friend on the show. He should have just kept her out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a big mistake on his part.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, maybe he was trusting his future wife with this secret. If you can't trust your wife, then who can you trust?
Yeah, but she's the one who would care more than
Right.
anybody about that
Yeah,
secret.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
he
who else
should-
is going to
yeah.
give a crap besides
and
her?
he's totally going to understand that. Yeah. He just shouldn't have brought that chick on the
Yes.
show, period.
This is just a classic know your audience, and he didn't realize his audience at
Oh,
the
yeah.
time.
Yeah, and he doesn't know how I guess he doesn't know how insecure she is. Like, that's gonna bother someone. I mean, a little bit.
totally.
Maybe someone can get past it real quick, but like, I don't. Chelsea
someone like her?
obviously
Hell
ain't
no.
the one who
Yeah.
gets past
Yeah,
that.
she has shown her insecurities several times on this, in every one of their damn arguments, and it's like, come on, dude.
So they like trade barbs, and like Chelsea is kind of like the master, like trying to turn the tables. Like if he says, "Hey, you're too this or this is a problem," she's like, "Well, you did this and you did that." So
Yeah, exactly. And I did everything for you. Like, I busted my ass and, get all this stuff, and I was this for you, and I was that for you, and then you lied to me. Yeah, it's just those two don't belong together. I don't like either one of them, and I'm just like so glad that they're off the show now. So I'm glad like that's
Yeah,
done.
and this is kind of weird too, because I mean, this is the first thing they present, and after this, we don't see them anymore at all.
Oh no, they're gone.
But if I had to pick sides, like I'm definitely leaning more towards Jimmy, but I think you're right. Like these two are just not a good fit. Their communication sucks, and they have some fundamental differences that I don't think they could get past, honestly. So,
Absolutely.
I thought they'd at
And
least go to the altar, though.
I don't think he's as in love with her as he claims to be either.
No,
I think
I
he's
don't
making
either.
it all
Yeah,
up.
I hate when people say I love you, but like he's not willing to go through with marriage. So there's apparently like levels to his love, right?
Right,
So
well, especially when he just told her,
Every day you've done exactly what I would want in a wife. I love you to death, and I want a relationship with you, and I want us to work so bad.
"This is like, what the hell are you talking about, bro?" Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna tell her that.
just
and then
tell
you're
her
like,
straight,
"Oh,
man.
yeah,
Tell her what the
exactly."
deal is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And also to have this like time at the amusement park, then drop this,
Oh, yeah.
and then kind of say, I don't like that.
Yeah, because then she brings that up. She's like, "Why the hell did you bring me here for this wonderful day? You know, this morning
Yeah.
we were talking about what songs we're gonna have and all this crap, and then you're dropping it now." She's like, "Why the hell didn't you tell me this morning?" And I get her point there. Like, yeah, no kidding. You know.
I wonder if the show like puts them up to that whatsoever, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If the
Probably.
show doesn't put them up to it, then that is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I'm sure it shows you.
I think it fundamentally comes down to is what he said. Jessica's is number one. Always has been.
Right.
yeah, that ain't gonna work either.
No,
So. I mean, I think Jessica's already going on other shows, and she actually is talking about dating someone else on this show.
Yeah, like
That's what the rumor is.
Yeah,
so.
we've seen pictures of her and that dude together now online. So
Yeah. But Jimmy's out, so they have the bachelor and bachelorette parties. And how pathetic are these parties?
dude, every single season is like these parties just get worse and worse, especially for the guys. Like the girls usually will have like a stripper or something. You know, the guys have always had kind of shitty bachelor parties,
Yeah.
but like the guys get way worse every season, man. To this season, it's like they're just like fucking playing cornhole in some grass or something.
They found a park and they're like, bust out the cornhole. We got
Exactly.
these groom shirts for you, so you know it's a bachelor party, okay?
these plastic sunglasses. Here you go, live it up.
Yeah. So
like, oh,
and the girls are having a little bit better time. At least they're at a place where they're partying a little bit, even though there's no other guys or strippers or anything. They're just hanging out, grinding on chairs or each other. But
Right,
I mean,
right.
that's better than what the guys are doing.
Oh,
So.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. AD was grinding on that chair. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She was assaulting that chair. So.
Yeah, no, she definitely was, man.
Yeah, and what we learn about this too is Jamie and or Johnny and Amy still haven't been intimate with each other.
Yeah, well,
What do
AD,
you think about
AD,
that?
doesn't believe that shit, though.
Well, I think she's wrong on this, but she definitely doesn't believe it.
I'm not buying a car if I don't get a test drive. So good for her.
But man, but the way Amy's describing it though, they're doing something, man. Maybe a little oral, something's going on there. They might not have gone all the way, but they're having a little bit of fun.
But
you
she
know, so.
remember she did say that she's not wanting to wait though. But
Yeah.
I guess Johnny has flipped the tables in relationships
That's
on
right.
this. He's the one who's holding out.
Maybe he busted a tongue tornado and she was digging that. She was like, "Oh, that's good enough for me."
Jeez. You got any thoughts on that
I'm
one?
very
Ashley?
uncomfortable right now. I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah, so then we move on to the weddings, and it starts off with Clay and AD. And man, as I'm watching this thing, I'm like, this is awesome, right? Because like we see Clay's dad, and like Clay's mom is awesome.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Says
Clay's
the
mom's
right
cool.
things.
Yeah.
Even AD's mom is in love with Clay's
She's
mom.
like, "Guess what? I just met somebody, met Clay's mom."
And I just thought it was like a beautiful wedding, like the whole thing, and you see them up there, and you're like, all right, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then of course, Clay drops the bomb.
Oh yeah, no, they did a great job hiding that on this one. Like, holy shit!
I mean, Netflix. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
how you do it. I don't know because no one really
No.
saw. I mean,
Yeah.
some people thought this might be a 50-50, but I bet if you watch the start of these weddings, you wouldn't think that.
Well, and again, and we talked about this earlier. Off camera, when Johnny and freaking and Clay were at the bachelor party together, they're both like, "We made it, bro. It's so cool that it's just the two of us. We're both getting married, this and that." So like, you're like, "Oh, Clay's all in. Shit, he's gonna do it," you know. And then Netflix, man, they give you those.
Yeah,
little
I don't
surprise
know
there.
how they do it,
Oh.
man, but geez, I did not see that coming. from what they've shown.
Oh, yeah,
And
no
like,
doubt.
what did you think about Clay and his dad? I mean, he obviously has a lot of respect for his dad.
Yeah, he does. No doubt about it. But he didn't really call his dad out too much. I mean, he kind of like hinted at some of the stuff and the issues they've had in the past. He didn't really go too deep into it with him, but it seemed like they had a decent relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he definitely like tries to earn his respect, and he holds his
looks
dad
up
in
to
high
him.
regards. He compliments on how smooth he always is, how he dresses, all
yeah.
this kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
he
no
really
doubt.
looks up to him. So, but
Yeah. I was shocked when he said no, dude. I was like, oh crap, because I mean, like you say, everything, and prior to this episode, I'd say, okay, it's 50-50. Maybe you say yes, maybe you say no, but at this point, after they just talked it up so much this episode, he said no, and I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that he fully believed that she was going to continue to date him. I think he really does like her, but he's not ready for marriage. He knows he's not ready for marriage, and he thought that he could get her to commit to
Yeah.
staying with him
Yeah, no,
regardless.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, this was like a little bit of a roller coaster. I was really like happy for these two, and then he says that, and then I'm kind of like going through this other roller coaster where I'm like, I'm on her side. I'm like, that's really messed up what he's doing, but I see his point of view, and he's making some good points, but I just don't know.
Yeah,
man.
but at the same time, I mean, from the get go in the pods, he was saying, "Look, I just don't know if I could be committed." And it's like, so it's like from the get go, it's like he should not have been on the show. Period. Like you should not be on this damn show if even in the pods, at the very beginning, you're having this kind of attitude. You
Yeah,
come straight
and he
to this.
does like say his case, and then AD's emotional. I'm surprised she even talked to him, but
No doubt.
she says her thing. He's like, then you're not really listening to me. But I would also put that back on him. I'm like, well, you didn't listen to her when she said it's either marriage or
Yep.
I'm gone. So him thinking he can
Yeah.
continue to date her. Well, apparently you didn't
yeah.
absorb that, Clay. So
And she was very mature, handled it very well. I
Very
was shocked,
classy
dude.
of her,
Like
yeah.
she didn't go off on him. I was like, damn, it was very classy.
I feel for her, and
Oh, yeah.
and she makes a good point too, where she's like, yeah, it's on you, but all this came at my expense. You know what I mean? Like that's great
Yeah.
that you learned everything about it, but what about me and my feelings? And I'm up here thinking I'm getting married, and then
Yep.
this happens. So
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I feel bad
She
for
went
you.
in. She went in with the faith that he was with her on that.
Oh yeah. Well, and
That's-
from everything it showed us, like he was giving her that vibe, like, yeah, we're doing this, babe. We're getting married.
I just don't know how, if you're going to say that, how you could like put on your tuxedo and do all this stuff, have your family there and put on a good face. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. And he made it sound like, it just, it was a last minute decision, but I just knew in my heart that I couldn't do this thing. No, I wouldn't, bro. You had your mind made up before you got up on that altar. It's
He's
like,
got this prepared
get outta here
speech.
with
I mean,
that
he's
crap, man.
been hinting the whole time, right? So it's
exactly.
not too much of a surprise, but it's just the way he let it go and it was portrayed that was a shock. Now, who's more at fault here? Do you feel for him and see his point of view, or AD? What do you think?
I see his point of view, but again, if that's your point of view, then don't be on a freaking show like this. You don't belong here. You don't belong on Love is Blind if you're skeptical about getting married, period. Not only just married somebody you've never seen before, but just even getting married, period, you're skeptical about. And you're like, nah, I might be cheating, whatever. Then what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
But at the same time, from her perspective, when he's telling her all that shit and she's like, hey, I'm willing to deal with it anyway, then that is on her.
I do
right?
feel
So-
for her because like she seemed to lean all in on this experience.
totally.
So, Ashley, whose fault is it?
I think it's obviously his fault, but it all goes back to her being the fix-a-hoe.
Right.
She fell for the same thing that she falls for every time. And, I think she took him to a different level. I think he's a little more mature about how he needs to be in a relationship and how he wants to be in a relationship. And she taught him that. But again, like you said, and like she said, it was at her expense.
Right. She's like, I'm like your guinea pig here. And,
Yeah. Now, I do love AD, but I wonder if the show portrayed her in a better light than more, because he does quickly bring up, I don't know what this lady's finances is all about.
Yeah.
I think the finances, I kind of looked at it, brushed it off, but finances is huge to me, and I don't really understand her finances like that. Because at the end of the day, eternity is forever.
Thing related to that, and that's, finances are a huge aspect.
Oh, absolutely.
And like probably the number one reason why people get divorced.
Right.
So like I find that weird that he says that and it's never like discussed or brought up anywhere in the show.
Because I mean, they do kind of mention before. He's like, "Yeah, I'm working all the time," and it's like, "And you're not really working. You're not really doing anything." So there was moments where they did kind of talk about that. Yeah, they never. I mean, in past seasons, we've seen them get down to their finances. I mean, you had Homeboy that had like that shit up on his wall, like all his finances and crap.
Yeah.
And other couples are getting their finances. But yeah, and in this season, I don't think we really saw any of these couples getting their financial situations during the day.
No.
So
Ashley, do you think that had something to do with it?
I don't know, because I feel like if there was some kind of drama around that, they would have shown us that. Because,
Yeah, maybe they're trying to make
That's
AD look good
ratings.
though, because maybe they want you feeling
Yeah,
bad and
maybe.
thinking Clay's the bad guy here.
I have a feeling AD could make herself look good while selling something bad.
Yeah, but I mean,
Right.
that is a question because it never shows her working. She never really talks about working. Matter of fact, he makes references you're at home, so it's kind of like, what is the work situation?
right,
here?
exactly.
So
I
don't
they
know.
said she works night shift. She's like a bar
She's
manager
like a
or
realtor
club
or
manager
something.
at night.
But
or something.
she says she's a realtor.
Yeah, she says she's a realtor, but then she also says she's a club manager. But evidently, during this whole time, she hasn't been working much. So yeah, they were very. It was very.
There's definitely
male on
something.
everyone.
I get the sense that he's really put together in that department. So
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, and they mention that
Yeah.
many times. She mentions that, right? Like, wow, she's like, wow, you're a hard worker. You bust your ass all the time, and yeah. So so I think that's definitely something that's super important to him.
Yeah, maybe more so than they let on. Now, yeah, and I mean, his parents are they say the right things even to him. They're trying to console him. I do love how his mom kind of lays
Oh,
into
yeah,
her
dude.
dad a little bit.
Yep, absolutely. That
Oh,
was,
yeah.
And she was like, look what you created. Basically,
Yeah,
That's
essentially.
basically what you're saying.
And then he's like, I didn't have a great dad when I was a kid.
Right. And she's like, yeah, okay. Well, anyway, she's like, look,
And I do get that where like he probably had a rough childhood. He's trying to make it better, and he probably has. So they're making steps to have this good family and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's tough. No one's perfect, but there's clearly a lot of scars related to that. And she even told me like, hey, there's more than I even knew,
Yep.
and I learned from this experience.
and then what the part she was talking about there, because I remember Clay
Yeah.
mentioned this, was the fact that he was taking Clay with him on these cheating trips. It's
Yeah,
like-
and he brings this up every episode, so clearly that has a lasting impact on him.
Well, and then when the dad was like, he just need to find somebody like his mother, and she's like, well, yeah, you found me and you treated me like
Yeah.
crap. So.
Tell him meet somebody like you.
Huh?
I met you, tell him meet somebody like his mom.
Yeah, but you met me, but you wasn't good to me.
He tried to throw her a bone, and she
She's like,
didn't
"Nope."
take it. She didn't take it. She's like, return to sender.
Now, what I will say is like, he was never an asshole to her about it. At least he owned it. He did own it. He's like, yeah, you're right. And I was, probably not the best husband, So at least he owned it and was willing to admit it.
Yeah, and he was kind of tearing up with that, and it's a tough
Yeah.
moment for him.
Right.
But it's like, hey, there's demons there. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
hopefully he's learned and regretful. And she did say, "I forgive you," but that crap happened, and it is what it is. And
Right. And
it's impacted our kid.
And our son saw it. He grew up seeing that, and he grew up living that. So of course he's got psychological scars from it. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anything before we move on to Amy and Johnny?
Now let's move on, man.
Yep. So we get to this couple, and like now we're like, well, these guys better get married, or
Yeah,
there's a
dude.
problem here this season.
This was like the most vanilla freaking couple. I mean, everybody knew these two were getting married. I mean, even just the beginning of this part. And first of all, theirs was like the shortest. It was an hour and a half episode, and only like 25 minutes was on their wedding because everybody knew they were going to get married, right? So, and even in the beginning there, we're talking about how in the beginning when Clay and AD were talking it up, we're like, oh shit, they're getting married. Well, this one's the same way, right? Oh my God, I love him so much. Oh, I love her so much. Oh, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with her. Oh, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with him. But we know they mean it. This one, it's like, yeah, they're
we
getting
finally get to see her brother, and like both of these families are welcoming the other family.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a good vibe going around.
Oh yeah, especially her dad, man. I mean, I loved her dad the way he was talking
Yeah.
and everything. That was good, man. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, these two were just. They were a shoe-in to get married. There was no reason they were not going to. I mean, everybody knew they were going to, and I'm glad they did because they seemed like a great couple. And like you said, I mean, the family seemed to get along really great together. The sister was like, his sister was like crying and stuff, like, oh my God, thanks for bringing me over here to your side for this, and and I'm glad I've got a sister now and all this stuff. So yeah, it was good, man. That was like the one feel-good moment of the show this season.
Yeah, that's something I really liked is that it wasn't just the couple that came together. The families came together, the siblings, the parents, everybody. It's like this was a true merger of two families.
Oh yeah. Well, it was cool that her brother, obviously he's got autism, and he's with her dad, walking her down the aisle, because you could tell he was eating it up, man. You tell that kid was loving it, so that was cool to see that.
And we finally get to see Johnny's parents. Like we haven't seen them before, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know why. Maybe they're not co-located with them or something, but we finally get to see them.
Yeah, and they seem cool.
Yeah. So and then they're up there at the altar. She says her little speech.
And Johnny's like, "Oh yeah, thanks, babe." And then he didn't have a speech.
Johnny doesn't give a grand speech, and that kind of surprises me from him.
Too.
You know?
Yeah, because she says what she has to say. So you're like, "Oh, they must kind of made their own vows here." And then he's like, "Oh yeah, thanks, babe." And he looks up at his buddy. "Okay, let's do it." I was like, "Oh man."
Maybe he did, and then we just didn't get to see it.
I don't know, man. I think that have showed it if he did.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they definitely did focus on the other one more, but this one, I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about because it's just like low drama, and that's been the case with this couple. We haven't even seen them get in one fight.
Not
even one fight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hope that they handle that well when it does come up, if it ever will.
Right.
So maybe they're just so good that they don't let it get to that point.
I mean, the only discussion that we've seen that's like kind of where they're at odds is the whole sex thing, right? Freaking birth control stuff.
Now that is odd.
Right. That is definitely odd.
But yeah, I mean it's a fine wedding and goes off without a hitch.
Right, and a nice little after party, man. And there was a reception. They're all getting down, dancing. And when it's funny because then it pan back to them on camera where they're talking and stuff, and you could tell that Johnny was a little sloshed at that point. You can tell he was feeling good, man. He was a little drunk talking on the camera. But yeah, they're having a good time, man. I was like, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. What'd you think, Ashley? Anything to make note of?
I thought this was a beautiful wedding. I thought they were perfect for each other, their families coming together. I mean, I loved everything about this.
Now, one thing I will say, because I was getting online looking at some of the, these Facebook pages and crap, and people were like, oh, I wonder if they're still together. And then somebody was like, I guess, stalking her.
Still together.
Yeah, somebody was like stalking her Instagram. And like, there's some pics out there. Like, there's pics of her with all her friends, going on vacations with her friends, but none with him. Which I guess they can't have those until the anyway.
Yeah.
But like, some of the pics said, "Oh, here's the girl, the one that got away," and all this. Like, was the caption and shit. So people are like, "Well, are they together anymore? What's up with this one that got away?" So I'm curious, definitely curious to see what's gonna happen at the reunion. I mean, I think they're probably still together.
So what are the predictions for the reunion?
I think they're still together. You could tell. I mean, AD loves Clay. She loves him. She said, I'm not going to date this man again."
Yeah, she said it
but
twice.
I could see her giving in and doing it.
I could see her giving in, but I'm hoping she kind of doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping she does as well. So,
Ashley, does AD give in?
I don't think she does. I think she realizes she needs to find someone who's ready to be at the same level she is.
I hope that's the case.
That's a hard recovery to come back from because that's in front of your family. You got embarrassed up there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and because someone's probably going to hold that against him. I mean, she's going to hold it against him. The family's going to hold it against him. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's tough.
Yeah, no, definitely tough. Now, as far as Chelsea and freaking Jimmy,
are they magically together somehow?
I think they're toast. I think they're not together anymore.
Do we see Brittany and Kenneth at the reunion?
Probably not.
I hope they better get them.
Yeah, I would like to see them there, but probably. I mean, and Brittany maybe. I don't think Kenneth would show up. I think Brittany might show up for it. Kenneth, I don't think he would. I really don't.
Did Matt ever catch up with that girl?
I know, right? Right. Yeah, and that Amber chick. Yeah, probably not.
I read somewhere online that that the Kenneth and Brittany breakup was actually replayed. Like they had technically already broken up, and the cameras asked them to reenact it, which is why it was so awkward. I don't know the truth behind that.
I could see them breaking up over like phone or text, and they're like, "Nah, we can't have that, man. You guys are a major part of the show. You got to come in and end it officially."
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. I don't know. Did you see Trevor's Facebook thing where he talked about his dog? Well, he has the dog named Chelsea, and he gave the collar to her.
Oh, and the dog died.
Yeah, and the dog passed away, and the dog died on the day I guess she rejected him. So
yeah, I saw that.
It's kind of interesting.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was kind of a sob story thing, but
while at the same time he's in Texas too, his actual girlfriend.
Yeah, so I'm like, come on, man, are you trying to save face here? Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
I love dogs, so I don't wish any harm on any kind of dog, but yeah, Trevor, man.
Yeah, that guy.
You fooled us.
Yeah.
Thought you were a good dude.
Yeah,
but
he's
you're just like Jeremy.
Yeah, he's a dirtbag.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the thing is, too. I mean, if it's just one couple back at the, or a couple people back at the reunion, I don't.
Well,
Yeah.
hold on. What do you think about Jeremy? Do you think Jeremy's still dating Sarah Ann?
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a good point. Maybe they might still be together. I could see that.
I doubt that works either.
Yeah, I don't think it worked long term, but I could see them dating for a little while.
Yeah, there's already too much like drama and baggage associated with that whole thing too. So
Yeah.
I don't really see it, but I don't know.
But she doesn't seem to give a shit that he was engaged to a homegirl, so why would she care that he was engaged to another girl right before he was engaged to her? Yeah.
Maybe
So
she's
it's like,
perfect for him.
Right, right.
Yeah, what do you think of the season so far, or now that we've seen the weddings and everything? We got one, at least we got one strong couple.
Yeah, we did. One very strong couple, right? So, I mean, yeah, other than that, the season was a bust, big time.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I would like
Yeah,
to have
I
seen
think
more
we-
couples at least make it to the
Right.
altar than two. Come on
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
I think they need to do a better job of vetting who gets on the show.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh yeah, that
big
was
time.
that was the major failure this year. They
Oh,
should
yeah, it
never have
was.
had a Jeremy Trevor incident like they did, stuff
No.
like that.
No, definitely
So-
not. Yeah, they need to be vetting the hell out of these people. I mean, 'cause it's obvious at this point that plenty of these people are coming on here just to get freaking, Netflix famous.
And I'm not too big on like Jessica and what's going on there either too
Mhm.
much. So,
Yeah. No,
You know.
absolutely.
but I mean, bravo to Netflix the way they did AD
Oh,
and Clay. I don't like the way it kind of turned out, but like I love that they're still able to surprise us almost every season with
Oh, hell
stuff.
yeah, they
So
are. Oh, but,
and-
but you know who we did not see at all of this episode, like with the weddings and all that stuff? Didn't see our hosts, man. Hosts and hostesses.
that's true.
Nothing from them. I was like, damn.
Well, they're saving it for the reunion,
Yeah,
so
right,
which
exactly.
is next
There you
week.
go.
So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that'll be a good show too, because there's a lot to ask. I hope they bring Jeremy in. I hope they bring Trevor in, and they get to the bottom
Dude,
of all of
that'd
this
be
kind
great.
of crap.
If they can get all those people in there, that'd be freaking awesome, man. Because there's gonna be a lot of. Hopefully, there'll be some good tea spilled at that point. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, this is going to be like a bitch fest of all these people, and then they'll show like 2 minutes of happy with Johnny and Amy.
Are you
They're like,
guys-
oh, we
are
do
you-
have this couple.
Are
Here's
you
your
guys
gift.
pregnant yet?
Yeah.
Did you guys get that?
Right.
Did you guys get that sorted out?
Yeah. Now, do you think she got pregnant?
Maybe, I don't know if they never got the burger control. they
Does,
figured it out.
does Johnny ever find the magic pill that solves the problem? I don't know, but
But yeah, I guess we'll find out next week. Well, there you have it, folks. That is Love is Blind Season 6 down. And we got the reunion coming up next week, and that's it. I wasn't super impressed with this season. I mean, there's a good amount of drama, but, it kind of, like I said, it kind of fell through the cracks as far as who made it and who didn't, because only one couple made it. But hey, let us know what you guys thought about it. We love talking to y'all. And as always, hit that like and subscribe, and we will check y'all in our next review.